We hope you're ready to go up and over. It's all about the steeplechase horses kicking off the first couple of races on this Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. 10 hurdles, the minimum, of the wide inner turf at beautiful Belmont Park. Almost a European-style layout at the Big B. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore alongside, and a little different flavor today. Starting the car with a couple of jumpers.
And a little bit of a different look at those jumpers. They did away with the last two fences in the stretch at Belmont Park. So essentially the last roughly half a mile of these two jump races are run over the flat. So they're going to be steeplechase early, little flat racing late, and we'll see some race riding going on,
Yeah,
too.
they really sprinted home in both legs of the early double, and sit tight for that. You won't have to wait long. Now, I was bummed to hop on Twitter this morning, and the first note of discussion, Ironicus, Dave Grenning finding out and reporting of the from the Daily Racing Forum that Ironicus will miss the remainder of the year. It sounds like he's already on his way to Root and Riddle.
Yeah, it's a shame. The bad news is Ironicus is injured. He won't compete anymore this year. I think he'd have been very tough in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He emerged, to me, as the leader of this division in North America with his run in the Four-Star Dave. And he was a bit unlucky. I'm sorry, in the Bernard Baruch. In the Four-Star Dave, he was a bit unlucky. But that being said, the good news is they caught it. It's not catastrophic. He's going to be okay.
All right. We wish him a speedy recovery. We'll get him back as a 5-year-old for Shug and embellish the lace. We may see her next a couple days after the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland in the Fasig-Tipton November sales ring as the Alabama winner retired due to a leg injury after not running well, I think checking in 5th this past weekend down at Parks in the Cotillion.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's a shame that she's retired, but the good news is it's nothing catastrophic, and we will see little embellish the laces running around here in a few years. She certainly went out in style winning the Alabama. Unfortunately, not so good in the Cotillion, but you know what? She didn't know anybody. She's a Grade 1 winner, and she has value as a broodmare.
Good to see the Leblongs spending a lot and getting a lot with their money, that's for sure.
Well, we want to see people that put a lot into this game be rewarded and get a lot out of the game.
And a lot is, I think, the key phrase regarding Saturday's action from coast to coast. Here we'll have the Turf Classic card, more on that a bit later in the show, but they're opening the doors out at Santa Anita after a long hiatus, and a bunch of Grade 1 stakes, key Breeders' Cup preps on the program out there. Up first, Beholder, who unfortunately for the 8 fillies and mares she's entered against, she's back in against her own sex, and she just looks so dominant.
I bet the connections of those other fillies and mares were going, go against the boys, stay against the boys, but she showed up with the fillies. She is a sight to behold, the way she won the Pacific Classic, and the fact that she's going to try the boys, at least for the moment, it sounds like they're going to try the boys in the Classic. Should be one for the ages, and there's a possibility we're going to see her as a 6-year-old. Kind of unprecedented.
That is pretty cool. We're glad B. Wayne Hughes has got his sights set on a potential 2016 campaign for Beholder, and that'll be the case, and I'm sure the connections of Nyquist, the unbeaten 2-year-old phenom by Uncle Mo, hope that they've got the favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Regardless of whether he makes the Derby or not, he will be favored Saturday in the front runner, a race, if I'm not mistaken, won a year ago by American Pharaoh.
Yeah, and he's obviously an extremely talented horse. We saw his less heralded stablemate come to Saratoga win the Hopeful. Nyquist was winning at Del Mar that day. He's in the front runner. Well, he's kind of a front runner. He lays up close to the pace and he finishes the deal. And Uncle Mo has made a nice impression his first year as a sire.
Looks like a real good one for Paul J. Redham and of course Doug O'Neill as we cap things on headlines with a look at Songbird, and she turned some heads much like Nyquist. I'll tell you, the closing weekend stakes at Del Mar for the 2-year-old, you had Nyquist, the Goods, and the Best Pal, or the Del Mar Futurity, and the Del Mar Debutante was basically a walkover for this unbeaten Medalladora filly.
Another horse that possesses a great deal of speed. She's been very impressive. I've heard a lot of people say she might be the best 2-year-old in the country, either sex. Well, I think our 2-year-old fillies on the East Coast are going to have something to say about that. I think we have some very, very good 2-year-old fillies here, headlined by Rachel Valentina, who has done nothing wrong as well. A little bit of different styles, been a little bit more seasoned, taking dirt, having to overcome traffic. It's going to be interesting heading towards the Breeders' Cup.
All right, let's move it ahead as we go forward on this Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. Up and over, that's right. The flag fell a little after 12:55. It's the early double in progress, races 1 and 2.
And they all clear there as well. So now it's a flat race from here, and Broxbourne is the one to catch. Wanganui is second, Overwhelming is third by another 4. And they're followed by Longhouse Saint to the inside of Schoodic, Fog Island next, and a big gap back to the others. Perfect Union Gimme 5 and Coral Society, who's being pulled up out of the race. Broxbourne on top as the field makes their way toward the top of the stretch. And again, they'll be going inside these fences here as they turn for home. Broxbourne off the turn in front. And to the outside, Wanganui trying to cut into the gap in second, Overwhelming is third, and then comes Skudik on the outside, and Longhouse Saint as they come into the final furlong here. Broxbourne and Overwhelming has overtaken Broxbourne. Overwhelming is the leader. Broxbourne is second. Skudik takes third on the outside of Wanganui as they come to the line. It is Overwhelming and Sean McDermott to win it. And then it was Broxbourne, followed by Skudik and Wanganui. We've got a new leader, as Diplomat has taken over from Ciro's. Ciro's counters, and Alish Mall is between the two of them now as they go over the final fence. And then it's all together, followed by Charminster, Dawalan, Bob LeBeau still second last. And Hinterland is the trailer around the far turn. So it's Ciro's, Diplomat, and Alish Mall, and they're all across the track, all together, and Charminster are close by. The entire field is separated by 5 lengths as they come toward the top of the stretch in the Lonesome Glory. And Ciro's is still fighting them all off. Ciro's, Diplomat to the outside. These two come into the stretch 1-2. Charminster is next. Bob LeBeau's getting closer now. And here comes Bob LeBeau with a move for the lead as they race inside the final furlong. And Bob LeBeau's in front. Bob LeBeau's taking the lead. Hinterland rallies up late on the outside. Bob LeBeau in the Lonesome Glory over Hinterland. Then a photo between Dawalan.
8-year-old gelding in career form, and take us through, Mig, because there was a Stewart's inquiry off the far turn run.
Well, you see, as they rounded the turn, there were flags out keeping them off the inside, and when those flags went away, everybody wanted to follow back over to the rail, just the natural inclination of the horses and the riders. And the eventual runner-up, the one horse, Hinterland, was kind of jammed up in there, but I don't blame the rider on the 2-horse, Jack Doyle. He was just following the flow of the race. I don't know if that was really well thought out at that point. Maybe they should have been down on the rail sooner, remove those flags, but interesting turf races. I think they made the right call leaving this up. Bob LeBeau really didn't do enough as far as I'm concerned to come down, and it was a good horse race with that kind of mad dash to the finish with no fences in the stretch.
And a walk for a grade 1 down Victory Lane at Belmont Park, and for Elizabeth Voss, well, she got to talk to the Mig.
Picked up a great deal of weight from the last time. Were you worried about that?
Yeah, that was the one thing I was really worried about, because he's not a very big horse. So I was a little concerned about it. I know he's in top form of his life right now, so he jumped great, but I was worried with this stretch if he was going to get a little tired, but he ran great, so.
Well, it was quite a long way on the flat, too, because they did away with
like a half mile or something, I know. But he had good back flat form, so that actually I thought would be to our advantage, having the 2 jumps out, because he does have good flat form, so.
Well, what about now you're sitting down there sweating out an inquiry? What's that like, especially in a grade 1?
Watching it, I didn't really see how we were wrong there, but when they take so long, you start to worry that maybe they're going to take you down, but luckily we came out on the right side there, so. But I didn't see anything wrong. So.
Well, very deserving winner. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Daughter of the late, great Tom Voss, Elizabeth Voss, doing a great job. And look, the Irish bred, he's a good example. 8-year-old, just in career form, really hitting his best stride now.
Well, it just underscores the fact that horses continually develop. We saw a Phipps horse, a Phipps-bred horse, I should say, win the first race, Overwhelming, and you know, these horses improve. They get better over time. And here's a horse at 8 years old, like you said, in the best form of his life, and now he'll go from here to the Grade 1 at Far Hills, and he's definitely the front runner right now in the steeplechase division to win an Eclipse Award.
All right, good stuff there with both jump races and a mad dash down to the finish line at beautiful Belmont Park. Let's continue on at a bit of a slower pace as we get you back to speed on day number 10, race number 7, in fact, and this was a crossroads. End of the pick 5, end of the early pick 4, and the opening leg of the late pick 4.
Andrus A good one for Folk Song. Folk Song out to the front from Skipaloot and Bird Sense, who is taken in hand now and passed on the outside by Picture Day, who moves up into third. Then Sophronia on the far outside. Ursula Andress, who is slow to start, has passed Kindness at the rear of the field as Folk Song leads Skipaloot and Picture Day through the first quarter mile. That opening quarter goes in 23 1/5 seconds. Folk Song the leader, 3/4 of a length. Picture Day on the outside, now second. Sophronia goes up into third as Skipaloot rides the rail in fourth and is just 2 lengths off the lead. And then it's Bird Sense, 2 lengths more back to Kindness. And last of them all is Ursula Andress. Around the far turn, Folk Song by a neck. Picture Day, Sophronia's on the far outside. Javier Castellano and the favorite Skipaloot have the rail as they come to the top of the stretch, and they're 2 lengths off the lead after a half mile in 46 2. They're into the stretch. Folk Song, Picture Day. Skipaloot's got work to do, third on the inside as they come by the 8th pole. It is Folk Song and Picture Day. Skipaloot trying to come and get them from the inside, and she's coming now. Skipaloot coming up the rail. Picture Day on the outside. Folk Song between them. It's Skipaloot. Skipaloot rides the rail to victory over Picture Day, Folk Song, and Bird Sense.
Class relief the key. I think that's an appropriate phrase for Skipaloot, who had run in 4 consecutive graded stakes, had some serious names at her company lines, and that was not lost on the betting public as they crushed her down to even money, and a rail-skimming ride from Javier.
Yeah, terrific ride from Javier. I agree with you. The class relief certainly a big factor here, but I think something else had to be going on. Maybe she had a breathing issue. Horses don't get eased twice in a row, even in spite of the company. And she had actually conducted herself pretty well in strong company. Without something being amiss, whatever it was, obviously they fixed it. This is a filly with a future. Good to see her break through. And you want to see horses kind of go through the progression, break their maiden against maidens, and then move forward.
Yeah, you've got the A Other Than Next, you would think, as a plan for Ralph Nix, who now trains this daughter of Midnight Lute from Andy Pope's Whisper Hill Farm. And the good news on this show, we've covered 3 races. There's a whole lot more coming away from beautiful Belmont Park. On the other side of this timeout, we'll have Juba versus 4 in the flat feature.
The new Parks Fall Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition Group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
Up and over, there they go on a gorgeous sun-splashed Thursday afternoon at Belmont Park. We hope Mother Nature is right alongside with us, looking ahead to Saturday, October 3rd. We have Super Saturdays this year at Belmont Park during the Fall Championship meet. Turf Classic Day, a couple days from now, but October 3rd, not to be missed. And Tonalist will look for a rare 2nd consecutive Gold Cup.
Yeah, always great racing and terrific, exciting time of the year. Harkens back to the true Belmont Fall Championship meeting. Now they are prep races getting to the Breeders' Cup. I'd love that shot in the open with the horses jumping, but I would love to see our cameraman lay down close to this side of the fence and get them with the overshot, them going over.
That's the old school Barbara Livingston.
You think he'd be game to do that, though?
I
get
think
under
so.
there?
Yeah,
because the jump protects you.
Absolutely. You got the hedge protecting
Show
you.
me
Those
something.
horses are very athletic, and they will clear that fence. So that's a date next summer on the Inner Turf upstate at Saratoga.
That'd be Eclipse Award-winning stuff.
I'll tell you, we better get nominated for a regional Eclipse on this show, by the way. We'll talk about that a bit later in the year. Race number 9, though, in the meantime. Let's wrap up the action on the main. This was the flat feature, a big purse. Most eyes on the Great Juba from the inside post.
And Notorious has got some early speed to the outside of Juba. Now Juba's going to grab the lead from Notorious. Eric the Red is third on the outside. And then comes Saturday's Charm fourth. And left behind at the rear is Commute. Commute's a good 6 lengths off the lead, and Juba's in front. Now Eric the Red moves up alongside of Juba, and they go past that first quarter mile in 22 and 3/5 seconds. Juba by a neck. Eric the Red second, a length and a half. Then Saturday's Charm on the outside of Notorious, who's down at the rail. A length and 3/4 off the lead, and 4.5 ahead of Commute. Around the far turn, Juba on the inside, Eric the Red, they're matching strides on the lead. And right behind them, Saturday's Charm and Notorious are side by side. And still at the back is Commute. 45 flat for a half mile at the quarter pole. It is Juba turning for home on the rail. And dead even is Eric the Red, Juba. And Saturday's Charm moves up alongside of them as they come into the final furlong. Commute's coming too from far behind. Saturday's Charm is now in front. From Eric the Red, Juba to the inside, and Commute is fourth as they come down to the line. Saturday's Charm on the inside. Eric the Red battles on. Eric the Red got Saturday's Charm on the wire. And then it was Juba.
It's anyone's race with the 16th of a mile to go. Juba inside, Eric the Red between, and on the outside, Saturday's Charm.
Eric the Red, extremely game between horses, comes again under Jose Ortiz to outgame Saturday's Charm, who loomed up like a winner. Juba, I can't make any excuses for him. He was basically controlling speed. The first quarter wasn't extremely fast. If this horse is ever going to live up to his billings, his press clipping, so to speak, I'd like to see them one time take him back right off the break, take him back and make one run. If he's going to be any kind of a horse, it's not going to be making the pace the way he's been.
Well, he's had repeated chances on the engine and just can't seal the deal. Maybe that's a strategy that will work. We saw it on a different level, per se, with the filly, but My Four Chicks has been a completely different horse since they took her back and they've been making one run.
And sometimes you got to change things up. Just because that horse has speed doesn't mean you have to use it always early in the race. Teach them to use it at different times in the race, and maybe they become more effective. He's not going to be a good horse the way he's running right now, showing the kind of speed he's showing, so why not try something different?
Fair enough, and that may start a big week in the meantime with the winner, Eric the Red, for Lady Sheila, Linda Rice and Jose Ortiz. They've got La Verdad and the Gallant Bloom, and champion of the Nile and the toughest Bertram F. Bongard of all time, facing Get Jets and Sudden Surprise here Sunday afternoon. But race number 10 is next. 2-year-old fillies wrap up the card on the turf. Maiden special weight, and here's Larry.
And it is Ruby Dusk who goes out to take the early lead. Herkimer Diamond's got some speed, reimbursed to the outside of them. And from the rail, it's Miss Packenship, who is out running in fourth position, but right up with the pacemakers. La Cuesta follows in fifth on the inside. And then it's Fired Up Sensation, sixth early on, 5 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Wicked Fun and Insta Irma to the inside. And then it's Wedding Dress. And at the back are Amaze Me Grace and Anna Creek, and they went 23 flat for the first quarter. So the pace is honest here, and it's Miss Packenship in front. 3/4 of a length to Ruby Dusk in second, while Reimburse races just to the outside of the top two, 3 lengths ahead of La Cuesta, who's fourth, inside of Herkimer Diamond racing for the far turn. The half mile goes up in 46 and 3/5 seconds. It is Miss Packenship and Ruby Dusk, and these two have opened up 2.5 now on Reimburse, who's lost ground to the top two as they round the far turn. Wedding Dress is getting going now, fourth, and on the charge on the far outside. La Cuesta in behind horses running in fifth, and Herkimer Diamond going to be a wide run there for Fired Up Sensation as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it is Miss Packenship off the turn in front. Here on the outside are both Reimburse and Wedding Dress, and Wedding Dress is making a move for the lead on the far outside. Wedding Dress strikes the front coming to the furlong pole, and Wedding Dress is the leader as they come down to the line. Wedding Dress drifting out in front, La Cuesta up the rail, Wedding Dress and La Cuesta 1-2. Then Wicked Fun and Fired Up Sensation.
Wedding Dress in the Godolphin Blue, and Chris DiCarlo, I'd say he looks pretty good in the Shake Silks.
Chris has been riding terrific, came back from injury. It's very difficult to find your form. Well, he found his form right away, and he does look good in the Godolphin Blue, although it's hard not to look good in that Godolphin Blue. Nice run by La Cuesta, as well as a third-place finisher. Wicked Fun showed nothing in her first two dirt starts, really came running at a big price to be third, and might have been a little unlucky. Caught a little wide.
Leo Giamatti, the winning, or I should say the trainer of Wicked Fun. Tom Albatrani, in the meantime, the winning trainer of Wedding Dress, as Sheikh Mohammed has Wedding Toast set for Saturday's Grade 1 Beldame, as we see everything else that happened on day 10, fast and firm, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
3/4 goes in 1, 10, and 3, and they're into the stretch. And it is Shadow Rider and Reverend Green and River Date to the outside of them. These three come by the 8th pole with Shadow Rider in front. Shadow Rider the leader. River Date on the outside is next. Then Reverend Green, followed by Dreams Do Come True and Doc Curlin. Shadow Rider and Erod Ortiz Jr. will win it. And then it was River Date, followed by Reverend Green and Dreams Do Come True. By leaps and bounds, inside, Irish Whisper to the outside. The half and 46 flat. And they're into the stretch. Irish Whisper to the front. By leaps and bounds is given away. Run-a-dub-dub is coming now on the outside. Has to come and get Irish Whisper with a furlong to go. Irish Whisper and Run-a-dub-dub. By leaps and bounds, third to the inside. Lady Grace Note has made up late ground, but as they come down to the wire, it is Run-a-dub-dub. And then it was Irish Whisper, Lady Grace Note, and By Leaps and Bounds. Holy Week is third to the outside of them as they straighten out into the stretch drive. Then Plundering, who's trying to close to an opening on the inside. Mohican Chief is now closing in too. And so is Touch of Paradise on the far outside. Mohican Chief strikes the front. Plundering coming up the fence. And then it's Whippo in third, followed by Touch of Paradise. Mohican Chief has got it. Mohican Chief will win from Plundering. Then Touch of Paradise and Whippo. Enters gate after 3/4 in 111 flat. And they're into the stretch, and Harpoon's getting going now on the outside. Dendrite to catch. Harpoon is coming, so too is Inventor's Gate. And down toward the inside, Why Not Whiskey trying to put in a bid. And then comes Police Camp, and Elwaz closing on the far outside. It is Dendrite trying to hold on to the lead. So far holding off all the competition. Dendrite did it. And then it was Why Not Whiskey in a photo with Harpoon, followed by Police Camp and Awa. For home together, Lemon Song rides the rail into third. On the far outside, Sunrise Kitty trying to come and get these front runners. And now it is Simple Love who takes the lead. Outside of Megs Amelia, Sunrise Kitty comes up after Simple Love now. Simple Love, Sunrise Kitty, Megs Amelia fighting on inside of those two, but it's Sunrise Kitty. Sunrise Kitty to beat Simple Love and Megs Amelia. Lemon Song was fourth.
Good finish in the 8th race and a good day for Jason Service. He was all business today at Belmont Park, winning 2 races, and we won't go back far, Mig. Race number 8, in fact, will wax poetic about Jason Service, who, whether you're talking about the cold winter months or the fall or the summer, the guy just gets it done.
He does a terrific job. He's 4 for 7 now at the end of racing today at Belmont Park. Wins at a high percentage, puts horses on the racetrack with the best of intentions. He goes out there to win, not just to run. And the Service name is well known because of Smarty Jones. Well, that's his brother. He's doing good things on his own.
Yeah, this guy's a whiz at the claim box. One of the best trainers in New York, I think, off the claim on the turf. And in regards to best, Irad Ortiz picked up a 3-bagger today, a hat trick. Javier walked away with a couple victories, 12-10 atop the standings at Belmont Park. With another day down, we could check out the trainer standings, and Chad Brown walked away with the victory. Mohican Chief started the pick 6 off, a universal single. He did not disappoint. Tom Albatrani continues his good run. Claims on the day, I think we had 4 total. In fact, 5. We had a couple out of race number 8, a couple out of the 4th, and River Date claimed by Gary Contessa for $50,000 off a placing in race number 3 as we send it to our final timeout on this Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. It's the Palace. It's a gorgeous sunset. Stay tuned. Thundering down the stretch at Belmont Park. In fact, we are over that final jump, over the river and through the woods. Here we go to the finish line, and on a Turf Classic day, a $100,000 guaranteed pick 6. We'll have the $40 low roller contest as well, first floor of the grandstand, and a little Friday preview. In fact, 10 races on the program. 12:55 will be the start time. Don't forget that $500,000 guaranteed pick 4. The Wedding Toast back for the Godolphin Blue in the Beldame. She will take plenty of beating.
Yeah, she will, and from what I hear, she's doing excellent, and you know she loves Belmont Park.
And Double Down again loves to run. Here he is. He's been sharp all year.
sharp all year. He's going to have to work out a trip from the inside. He hasn't been quite as effective at Belmont Park as he has as we're watching him in the winter at Aqueduct, but you know he's got ability. And Phil Serpy, a guy that knows how to win, looking to break out.
Miwana Rose has been an outstanding claim from Chris Engelhardt. Really overachieved at some big prices at the Big A.
Yeah, he really did. We're watching him finish second in the Gravesend against Salutos Amigos. Well, I don't know if there's any Salutos Amigos in here. Another horse. He's got one victory at Belmont. You'd like to see him kind of string it together. His last race, I thought, was a little bit hungry, but you got stall walking dude in there, and he can rebound.
You can never discount Mike Hushin, correct? He'll send out Loki's Vengeance.
Michael Hushin is one of the best horse trainers that I've ever been around. He knows how to get it done. This is a horse that I think will have to bring his A game to compete here, but I never, ever overlook a Michael Hushin horse. And this is an extremely competitive feature race tomorrow.
It's a very good feature, the 9th race, much like today, and we keep it going here on Insider. Andy and Maggie with the day's plays.
Looking at race number 6 on Friday's 10-race card, and one of the reasons I like this race is I think the one Drama King, who may very well be favored in here, is very vulnerable. Rudy Rodriguez's numbers off of wins and dirt sprints, not really that strong, seem to be overbet. He's kind of a last time was the time horse. Now, the 5 Posilicious ran extremely well in his last race, and in some ways I think he's the horse to beat if you're against Drama King down on the inside. I'm going to take the David Jacobson claim, Sailmate. A horse has actually never gone 6 furlongs before, but he's run well at 7. And this is just the kind of horse that Jacobson has had success with in the past. And I feel he's a bit of an all-or-nothing horse. If he can turn him around and get him back to his once good form, he'll beat this field. If he doesn't, he'll get nothing. And I think Posilicious will win. I'm going to hope it's the former, and Sailmate runs well for David Jacobson and gets it done in race number 6 on Friday.
As the bugle sounds here in the paddock, that means it's time for a Paddock Insider, and I'm going to check out race number 7 tomorrow. It's a maiden special weight for the 2-year-old boys this time around. And taking a look at Aaliyah Giramati trainee, that's number 10 in here, Strike Midnight, a horse whom I really liked in the paddock upstate at Saratoga. Just thought he had that very mature kind of presence to him, but thought that he'd want to go longer. Well, he's getting to do that from the 5.5 to the mile. After in that debut race, he got away slowly, made this huge kind of wide but very green run, lugging in and kind of staying on that left lead. So I think with that maturity, that race, and the extra distance, Strike Midnight should be able to strike lucky in tomorrow's 7th race. Guys, back to you.
We'd love to say, but the MiG and I have to get out of Belmont Park, at least for today. We are on tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m., and we leave you with John Velasquez's first ever Grade 1 victory in the 95 Turf Classic.
Passer to catch. Turk Passer still there. Hernando unleashing his power at the furlong marker. It's Turk Passer weakening on the lead. Hernando coming hard. Rifa Poor and Celtic Arms. Turk Passer desperately trying to hold. Hernando coming hard. Turk Passer, yes, he goes wire to wire. A cagey ride there by John Velasquez. No challengers for Turk Passer on the lead. Hernando took a run on him, but he was